As hunters head to the fields and woods, the crime of trespassing is being given a second look. Let's spend a few minutes with the sponsor of this bill, State Representative Ryan Aument. Welcome.
Good to be with you.
Well, it certainly is important to preserve hunting as a tradition in Pennsylvania, but you have a bill that kind of also looks out for property owners as well. Can you tell us about it?
That's right. It's important that we balance the lawful rights of our hunters as well as protecting the rights of landowners. So the legislation that I've recently introduced ensures that essentially the trespassing on the property of a landowner is not something that is just simply a slap on the wrist, which in my view it is in current law. Now, it's important to be mindful that we're not talking about a hunter who accidentally steps on the property or crosses the boundary into another property. We're talking about someone who has willfully defied a boundary posting, a fence. This is a willful violation of law that we're seeking to combat.
So what does current law say in regards to trespassing while hunting?
Well, essentially, the existing law is a secondary offense, meaning that you need to have committed another violation of the game code prior to being charged with trespass while hunting. And so the reality is that very few of these willful trespass crimes are being prosecuted, very few are being investigated, and landowners that I've talked to feel essentially powerless to prevent folks from straying onto their property. And their concern is a genuine, it's a safety issue where they may be hunting themselves and aren't aware of who may be downrange on their property. And these are folks that have willfully ignored postings or have crossed over a fence. It's a willful violation of the law. So we seek to make this a primary offense, and we seek to clarify who can enforce this offense, local law enforcement as well as conservation officers.
Now, if someone commits this crime of trespassing while hunting under your bill, would they lose hunting privileges along with that?
They could.
Okay.
In current law, with a secondary offense with multiple charges, you could face suspension of privileges, suspension of licenses. Those provisions remain in place. But what we've also done is we've essentially made this law parallel with the agricultural trespass in the Crimes Code, which carry higher misdemeanor penalties of varying degrees, depending on the circumstances. But yes, the license suspensions provisions in current law would remain into effect with multiple violations.
Certainly hunting has an important heritage in Pennsylvania, and you're not looking in any way to change that heritage or to diminish what people are doing and having people go out and hunt with their sons and daughters.
No, that's right. In fact, what we're trying to do is ensure that hunters ultimately are safe when they're out in the woods and hunting. The idea of this legislation came to me from a constituent who owns property, has a cabin, a hunting cabin, owns property, who is a hunter himself, but was concerned with repeat violations, with local law enforcement really not taking an interest or feeling as though they had the standing to investigate or to charge in a way that would carry real weight, real consequences. And this was a landowner whose property was well posted, but they were concerned that they had folks downrange while they were out in the woods hunting that they had no accountability of. And so they were concerned, obviously, for the safety aspects of that, as well as the legal ramifications if something were to happen on their property. So we felt it was important to clarify the law, clarify who has the ability to investigate these violations, who has the authority to bring about charges, and to also ensure that the charges carried significant weight similar to the agricultural trespass laws.
Well, thank you so much for taking time with us today to explain this bill, and we'll track it as it works its way through the system.
Thank you so much.
And if you have comments or questions about this or any other legislative topic, Representative Aument's contact information will be on the screen in just a few seconds. Thanks for watching.